Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Forbidden Land podcast. This is a very exciting, special episode. There is a very special event that I get to announce on this episode with Georgia political candidate Mike Collins. He will be in Covington for his second annual Surf and Turf on May 2nd.
Hey, Mike Collins here. Just want to invite you to our second annual Surf and Turf. Fried chicken and fried catfish. You can't beat it. It's going to be May the 2nd, Covington, Georgia. We're going to have fellow patriots from all across Georgia, even some special guests. You want to be there with us. Make sure you sign up by the link below.
Wow. Who all here is going to Mike Collins Surf and Turf? I know I am. I'm going to be going to Mike Collins Surf and Turf on May 2nd at 4 p.m. in Covington, Georgia, at the Georgia FFA Center. Yep, folks, that's right. Mike Collins is holding his second annual Surf and Turf. Make sure you show up. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Show your support. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. All right, let's get to the important stuff. Senate Republicans have decided to continue to destroy the environment as if it couldn't, as if we couldn't destroy it enough. They have decided that for profits, we shall continue to destroy the environment. Now, in Minnesota, there's a place called the Boundary Waters, which is in northeast Minnesota on the Canadian border. And the Senate voted 50-49 to allow corporations to mine out the Boundary Waters. From what I understand, it's a Chilean mining operation that would be mining out the waters for like sulfur or something like that. This is just so gross that we are mining out such a beautiful landscape, such beautiful waters for corporate profit. Like, we will go to any length to make a short-term profit, even if it means destroying the earth to do so. Why would you even want to make money at that point? Is greed that blinding? Why would you want all that money if the world that surrounds you looks like hell? Like, why would you want that? That shit makes no sense to me. And you already know Trump is approving it. He is bribed by every corporation that flashes a dollar bill in front of him. So, yeah, look at this, man. Just such a beautiful landscape. Surely the Canadians must have thoughts on this. Because the Canadians share the boundary waters with Minnesota. Like, the boundary waters are big. But Canada shares a significant portion of them with the U.S. So, I'm wondering what they're going to think about us just polluting all of the water on our border. Pretty fucked up stuff. All the more reason why we should vote all these freaks out in November. All right. Now to return to our favorite segment on this podcast from the last month and a half, the war in Iran. I really should have my little graphic pop up. I made a video 6.5 years ago called "The War in Iran" when we killed Soleimani, And I really should bring that back as like a stinger transition. That'd be really funny. But yeah, so as you know, last week Trump was warring it out with the Pope. Sorry, I keep like deep throating this fucking popsicle. Trump was warring it out with the Pope. Had me thinking, like, what Catholics in the Trump administration will be excommunicated for coming out and saying that the Pope is wrong and the president's right and the president can do no wrong. And he's so awesome. Well, a member of the media, a ardent Trump defender, one of the arguably biggest Trump defenders, Sean Hannity, has abandoned his Catholic faith to support the president.
Now, I do want to shift gears with a message to the Vatican tonight, specifically to Pope Leo, who has openly condemned America's war in Iran while seemingly enjoying a public fight with President Trump. First, let me give some context. Like millions of Americans, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school for 12 years. I even attended a seminary in high school, studied theology, Latin, went to Mass daily. But as of today, I no longer consider myself a Catholic. Where are the pointed words for Iran, this evil regime, the #1 state sponsor of terror, the people that murdered 45,000 innocent protesters? Not a peep from Pope Leo. Iran is now set to, literally have 4 more protesters and hang them and kill them, including a woman. Nothing from Pope Leo. Iran oppresses women. Nothing from Pope Leo. Tortures them, rapes them, kills them. Nothing from the Pope. Iran backs terrorists in Iraq and Beirut who have killed Americans for decades. Nothing from Pope Leo. Iran drops bombs on holy sites and neighborhoods all over Israel, densely populated areas like Tel Aviv, and Pope Leo is not.
Oh my God. Inshallah, Sean Hannity will get punched in the face. It's so ridiculous. Oh, we started this war, and because they're striking back onto Israel, which, yes, has a lot of historical religious sites, all of a sudden, why isn't the Pope speaking up about that? I like how he's framing it like the 45,000 Iran has killed means that the U.S. should go in and also kill people. And that if we do that, the Pope criticizing that is wrong. It's also really embarrassing to say that you're a lifelong religious man, to tout this type of worldview every day on your news program, and then to come out and be like, yeah, I don't believe in that shit anymore because of Trump. I love Trump. It's just so embarrassing. Here's what Trump had to say at a Turning Point Action event regarding NATO. He was talking about the Strait of Hormuz, which this week has just been opening and closing. And here's what he had to say about NATO.
That the Hormuz Strait situation is almost over, I received a call from NATO asking if we would like some help. Thank you very much, NATO. And I told them I would have liked your help 2 months ago, but now I really don't want your help anymore. Because they were absolutely useless when we needed them. But actually, we never needed them. They needed us. They need us. They need us so badly.
If you're wondering, 10 minutes after Trump said this, Spain said, "That's a lie. He never called us. He is still living in delusion." Bro is still giving the speech when they gave that rebuttal. Oh my God. That was so cold. It was so good. It was a lime popsicle. Like a lime fruit bar. All right. Why is Trump lying about NATO offering help now because Trump got embarrassed by NATO after he called on them to help him illegally invade Iran. He got embarrassed, and now he's trying to save face by being like, look, we're winning, guys. I promise we're winning. And also, look, now they all of a sudden want to help us. Oh, man. Isn't that crazy, guys, that they all of a sudden want to help us after my embarrassing moment of calling on NATO, an organization I've shit on like every day of my presidency, calling on them to help me illegally invade Iran, and they said no. Isn't it crazy how all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're begging me to let them help. They're begging me. No, they're not. He's just embarrassed. He's embarrassed that they told him no the first time. That's literally all it is that he's just embarrassed that he got rejected. And I don't know what to do with my hair here. He's embarrassed that he got rejected, and this is him trying to save face. This is like the worst my hair's looked on this podcast. Sure, bro. Looks weird. But yeah. That's the whole reason why he's doing this. Israel has been really fucking busy this week. And it's really insane to watch. It's really sad to watch. Israel pretty much has gone in to Lebanon. They've invaded Lebanon. They have started blowing up villages in Lebanon, driving out families, killing innocent people. And these people can't return. They've been caught like cooking meals in Lebanese people's homes that have been seized, according to Channel 12's reporting. Look at this. They're just in these they're in these families' homes, picking their crops, cooking their food, and the world watches on while they do this shit. They're smiling and laughing about it after stealing this family's home. I mean, they don't care. They really don't. They plan on building 20 permanent military bases in southern Lebanon. Apparently they've reached a ceasefire. Like, look, this is how far up into Lebanon that they're claiming that they've seized and have control of now. Israel is claiming that this is the area that they are occupying. So, if this isn't colonial expansion, I don't know what is. And no one's going to step in about this. Look at that. Look at how much of the fucking ocean they're claiming. That's not a coincidence. That's where a lot of Lebanon's resources come from. Not even close to a coincidence. And the IDF don't care. This has been their goal for a long time. Israel has been trying to take over the surrounding area, the surrounding nations, for a long time now. And they're blitzing. I mean, they're literally blitzing because they know that after the Trump administration is over, there will no longer be a world where they can get away with stuff like this. It's over after this. In Lebanon, they've struck and killed multiple paramedics. In Lebanon, they quadruple tapped as many medics as they could possibly quadruple tap. According to this article, when they received the call to respond to an Israeli airstrike in the city of Mayfoudin in southern Lebanon. Most of the paramedics held back, having previously seen colleagues killed by double tap attacks targeting rescuers. But the medics from the Islamic Health Association, IHA, rushed to the scene. By the time the other emergency workers arrived at the site, they found the IHA medics had indeed been caught in a second strike. They started evacuating their wounded colleagues, only for their ambulances to be hit in 2 further attacks. So disgusting. There are still people that defend Israel after reading stuff like this. They're still out there. They think it's okay for a country to not just double tap, triple tap, but also quadruple tap medical workers. They think it's okay to violate international law and violate the law of warfare by leaving survivors behind and not rescuing them. Yeah, currently, Israel is now holding Lebanese land. It's illegally occupying Lebanese land. And the reason I say this is because of the way that Haaretz frames this. They titled the headline, IDF says it killed terrorists who crossed into Israeli-held Lebanon. More like they killed somebody who entered the illegally occupied southern Lebanon. I mean, why are people letting this happen? Why are they just okay with this happening? Here's a footage of some of the damage. And this is not Gaza, by the way. This is Lebanon. Looks eerily similar, though, doesn't it? Looks very similar. Here's some more footage. It's literally apocalyptic. It is. It's apocalyptic. This isn't the only stuff that Israel's doing in the region. During the smoke screen of the Iran war, they have been firing on all cylinders. In the West Bank, a settler with the IDF backing them up. Settlers shot and killed a 14-year-old student and a 32-year-old man in the West Bank. The IDF was providing protection to the settlers the entire time. This is now these are now the 3rd and 4th people killed on that particular day after a 16-year-old boy was run over by a settler's vehicle in Hebron, and a 49-year-old woman died when she was shot by the Israeli army in Jenin. So that's what I'm saying. They're just firing at all cylinders. Occupying Lebanon illegally. Killing people in the West Bank. And blowing up apparently UNICEF water aid convoys in Gaza. Yeah, in northern Gaza, a UNICEF water convoy was destroyed. Here's a direct comparison, by the way, of of Gaza versus Lebanon. Here's Lebanon. Yeah. Just horrifying scenes. Eerily similar to Gaza. Just complete and total destruction everywhere. So that's what Israel's been getting up to. I won't accept anything less from a candidate this year than one that will come out and say that they one that will come out and say that they will stop all arms to Israel, that they will implement an arms embargo for Israel. That's the type of presidential candidate I would vote for. So, you know, I hope we get some good candidates this year. Ones that actually have a spine and a backbone, not to take AIPAC money, and will actually, you know, stand up and say, no, actually, I won't send weapons to the genocidal state of Israel. I'll tell you who's not saying shit like that, and that's the minority leader in the Senate, Chuck Schumer.
The view of Palestinians is simple. Well, the Europeans treated the Jews badly, culminating in the Holocaust, and they gave them our land as compensation. Of course, we say it's our land. The Torah says it, but they don't believe in the Torah. So that's the reason there is not peace. They invent other reasons.
He's saying that the Torah claims that Israel is, he says, quote, their land, end quote. Like, as in, I guess, Jewish people's land. But he says that Palestinians don't understand that. Hence why there can never be peace. This is like Ku Klux Klan level bigotry. That, oh, we have to banish and murder millions of Palestinians so we can have Israel. Why couldn't y'all have just why couldn't people have just coexisted with Palestinians? Why can't everybody just go to Palestine and just live amongst each other? Why does there have to be this like theocratic ethno state instead of everyone having equal rights? That's what I don't get.
But they do not believe in a Jewish state, and that is why we in America must stand strong with Israel through thick and thin. We must.
Because the Palestinians don't believe in the Torah, is what he's saying. We have to snipe babies. We have to snipe children approaching the border wall. We have to bomb families. We have to kill 2,600 family bloodlines. That's what we have to do. And the U.S. should stand strong with them through thick and thin. What the fuck, man? Yeah, $6.5 million AIPAC recipient, or I should say pro-Israeli lobby recipient, but seeing as he's speaking at AIPAC, I don't think that distinction matters very much. Now, it's been an open secret for a long time that Israel has nuclear bombs. However, the U.S. has never openly acknowledged that. But like I said, it's always been an open secret. We pretty much know that they have nukes. One of the big things about us keeping that secret is that we have to, because Israel has not signed the nuclear proliferation treaty. that every nation on Earth with nukes that still does business with the U.S. is signed under. Where you can have nukes, but you got to sign this treaty, and there has to be some level of oversight and restriction and regulation on it. That's the whole gist of the treaty. And if we acknowledge that they had nukes, then Israel would have to sign that treaty. Well, here is a journalist asking the State Department spokesperson about Israel's nukes. Something that you don't see that often.
Come to light. An exchange between Jeffrey Leeds and former Secretary of State Colin Powell, in which he acknowledges that Israel has, quote, he says 200 nuclear weapons. And the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty has not been signed by Israel. Under U.S. law, the United States should cut off support to Israel because it's a nuclear power that has not signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, according to Colin Powell. Correct?
Shouldn't you ask Colin Powell that? I'm not going to speak to this particular traffic, and I'm certainly
So you're
not
saying
going to
Israel
discuss.
doesn't have nuclear weapons?
I'm certainly not going to discuss matters of intelligence from the podium. And I'm not.
That's so crazy. Oh, you should go ask Colin Powell. Doug, you're the State Department spokesperson. You would know. You know the answer. Oh my God.
I have no comment on that.
Okay, well, the email says the boys in Tehran know Israel has 200, all we targeted on Tehran, and we have thousands. I mean, that seems to indicate that there's a knowledge of an Israeli nuclear program, which would make U.S. aid to Israel illegal.
I think I've answered your question.
Okay, well, let me ask, is that, do I have the correct understanding of U.S. law that we're not allowed to support a nuclear power that has not signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty?
Look, we obviously support the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. I'm not a legal expert on all the tenets of it, and
Do we?
I'm certain.
We let Israel slide on a lot of rules that they break. A lot. I was waiting on someone to pick something up. Yeah, we let a lot of things slip past us when it comes to Israel. And yeah, nuclear bombs is definitely one of them. The fact that Israel was allowed to develop nukes in secret, without anyone's permission, and then get away with not signing the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. I don't know why I'm mispronouncing it. I said it perfectly like 5 minutes ago. The fact that we're not making them sign that treaty after they developed nukes in secret from us, and we've kept it as an open secret for so long. We don't respect that treaty, or else we would stop doing business with Israel.
Certainly not going to speak about the details that you've revealed here in this email traffic. That would be inappropriate for me to discuss one way or the other. I'm not going to do it.
There are sanctions imposed on North Korea in response to their nuclear proliferation. There were sanctions put on Iran in response to allegations of nuclear proliferation. And now we have this email from Colin Powell saying that Israel has 200 nuclear weapons. Why is Israel not facing any consequence for this?
It's a very colorful way of getting back to the same question you just asked me. But I'm going to refer you back to the transcript when you see it this afternoon to what I said before to your question. Saeed?
That's really crazy how he won't answer the question straightforward. He just gives you this ring around stupid answer and doesn't give you just a straight answer.
You're familiar with this email, right?
I'm not.
Oh.
I have not seen it. I can't speak to the email, and frankly, even if I'd seen it, sir, I wouldn't engage in that kind of a discussion from the podium. Yeah.
Recently.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is like the strongest argument for why we should get money out of politics. Such a poison. The liberal-based international order, it's been dead for a while, but it's decomposing. It's a dead corpse on the side of the road, rotting. There's flies flying around it. There's, raccoons trying to eat it. Yeah, our liberal international rule-based order is dead. Dead. Speaking of liberal international rule-based order being dead. Here's what Trump says about Cuba. As you know, last week we talked about the Cuban president being asked, would you step down in order for the U.S. to stop placing an embargo on your country? He was like, no.
Soon this great strength will also bring about a day, 70 years in waiting. It's called A New Dawn for Cuba. We're going to help them out with Cuba. We have a lot of great Cuban Americans. Not too many people in this audience, I don't think, but you go to Miami, we have people, Cuban Americans, people that were brutally treated, whose families were killed and brutalized. And now, watch what happens. Under this, and very soon this great strength.
Oh, man. We're going to go to war with another country. We're going to spend another $1 billion invading it. And then what? We're going to occupy Cuba indefinitely like we have with Puerto Rico? Every month, folks, every month, there's a new country that he wants to invade. Next month, fuck, it might be Canada. If I had to take a guess. If I had to predict, it might be actually Canada. So it seems that a new poll has come out in our favor. While we're talking about, the need for midterms to turn the tide and change the majorities and stop the Republicans, you might think like, well, the Democrats have just been dragging their feet on this for so long. Who's to say that, they're going to be able to even hold back the Republicans in the first place? Well, the progressive movement amongst Dems is it's up to 55% of the Democratic Party. 55% of the Democrats are considering themselves progressive, while the other 45% consider themselves aligned with the Democratic Party. Yeah. I would say we're making pretty good headway. I think Trump is the best person so far to rally a progressive cause. Funny enough, he has done the exact opposite of what he intended to do. So, thank you for that, Trump. That's like the only thing he's done for us that's actually good, and it's bolsters support for the progressive movement. So thank you, Donald Trump, for that, I guess. Speaking of the progressive movement, let's talk about the Michigan Senate race. The Michigan Senate primary is going on right now, and on the Democratic side, we have the AIPAC-funded Haley Stevens, who at a Michigan Democrat campaign event got completely booed out by the crowd.
Michigan in tough moments. That is exactly what I did for Michigan when I served as Chief of Staff on the U.S. Auto Rescue alongside the great men and women of the UAW. We saved.
Glad the United Auto Workers got a little bit of a cheer there. Dude, how many times have you heard the Democrats make this tired old like campaign message of oh, I'm the son or daughter of a hardworking middle class American family. I grew up here. Like, yeah, I would hope that you grew up in the place, or at least have lived in the place that you're trying to represent. I would hope so. But I don't really care about their background. I care about what they do. Obviously, if they've done terrible shit, I want to know. But I don't care that you're the daughter of a Michigan factory worker from Detroit. I want to know, what are you going to be doing? Because she's a representative already in the House. I want to know, what are you doing exactly that's helping this country? Like, what exactly have you done to help this country? If you're wondering, she's made $9 million from Israeli lobby groups. So, yikes. Here's the other opponent, Mallory McMorrow, doing her best cringe impression. This is so millennial coded. It genuinely made me kind of like my skin kind of crawled a little bit. So, trigger warning: extreme whiteness. If this frame doesn't just sum up how tone deaf and garbage this campaign is. I mean, first you got the Abdul al-Said sign facing her parade. But the giant, like, Pete Buttigieg style cutout of her head, missing the rest of her hair, by the way, so she just is very round. But this, like, random picture of her and her head just being this cutout screams campaigning 13 years ago. And then just the way that she was dancing, dude, come on. You couldn't be more white. It's just so cringe. And people being like, oh, why are you attacking this? Do you hate joy? That's not joyful. It's just annoying. Joy is when, like, that bird landed on the podium when Bernie Sanders was speaking 10 years ago. Joy is like, when Tim Walz signs that bill to give children free school lunch, and he got all those kids around him hugging him. That's joy. If you're wondering, $100,000 from Israeli lobbyist groups. So, not good. It seems that El Said is pretty neck and neck with her in the polling, as of April at least. So yeah, it seems that she's doing not great. That Abdul al-Said might actually beat her, and I hope so. That's the candidate I want to win. Now, Cory Booker decided to stop in on this race to give some important words.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a storm in our nation. There is darkness and wind. People are getting hurt. What we need is not from on high. We need foot soldiers of our democracy who in times of trial are willing to stand up. Will you stand for our democracy? Will you stand to get out the vote?
I really hate this gaslighting that these moderate, conservative, even Democrats do. Because he goes on to talk about how the voters failed Kamala Harris. These Democrats stand for nothing other than to make a fat wad of cash. That's what they stand for. They stand to make a giant buttload, comically large size bag with a giant dollar sign on the front of money. That's what they stand to do. That's what they stand up for, is to make a shitload of money. I'm obviously referring to his 25-hour filibuster speech where he beat the record for the longest filibuster on the Senate floor. And what did he accomplish with that? No laws, no bills even, no new constituents, nothing. He literally got book deals and like a book tour. But here's what Cory Booker really wants. Here's what he really wants from Michigan.
So I'm going to say this like the son of a Michigander. Michigan, we're the hand, right? It's nice to have fingers. They all got jobs. They all got perspectives. But I don't want the Michigan hand after your convention. I don't want the Michigan hand after your August primary. I want the Michigan fist. I want you all to unite. I want you to punch a hole.
He wants that Michigan fist, folks.
I want you to grab a sledgehammer and knock some stuff down. I want you to reach up and grab somebody and get them off the couch and get them on the field. We got points to put on the board. I want that Michigan fist.
Cory Booker, you heard it here, folks, wants that Michigan fist. But I really do hate the fake revolutionary talk, where it's like he's telling you he wants you to get up, take action, get out there, do the thing, damn it. Go and do the damn thing. But what is that thing he wants you to do? Donate to his campaign. Keep consuming fossil fuels. Keep supporting Israel. Please keep voting for him. Like, that's his whole shtick. That's his entire shtick. And, you know, I don't know how I don't know how this stuff flies. I don't know how Democrats see this stuff and they go, yeah, this is our guy. Listen to how impassioned he sounds when he speaks. This is our dude. You know, he's doing the damn thing. He wants us to go do the damn thing. And he wants us to get angry. Go and do it, folks. He wants that Michigan fist. It's just it's so empty and hollow. You know? It's just so empty. And it gets us nowhere. And yeah, the primary is on August 4th. So get out there and vote for Abdul El-Sayed if you want actual change that will affect your life and get you what you deserve as a productive member of society and someone who's forced to be a wage slave. You know, vote for Abdul El-Sayed if you actually want real meaningful change. All right, my light died for this last part. So we're in the after dark section of the episode. Ooh. I don't know why that's spooky. We're in the late night portion of the episode, so it's more chill. If that makes sense. Even though if you're watching this when it comes out, it's in the morning. So anyway, you get the point. Big news out of Virginia. Virginia has redistricted. So Virginia held a vote. I love this reporting. I'll get to this in a second. So the Virginia held a vote. It had a ballot provision where they decided to change the district map to reflect essentially what would be a pretty even proportional split of congressional districts, turning that into a majority Democrat map. So the current districts, or really before the vote, the districts were split in a really interesting way. So in 2025, it was a strong Republican district, two semi-strong, like somewhat strong Republican districts, one purple district, and then 7 Democrat districts. Pretty even split. based on the makeup of the state, percentage-wise for statewide votes. About a like a 58, percent Democrat type of state, with the rest being Republicans. And after the vote took place, the congressional map has now been changed to 10 Democrat districts and 1 Republican district. So this new redistricting was approved by a democratically elected vote. Here's a side-by-side picture of the old congressional map versus the new one, based on representation. So these are the new districts. Now, you might be thinking, like, why in the hell did Virginia do this? They had a perfect congressional map. Why would they do this? When you poke the bear, even though most of the time it doesn't fight back, on this one particular issue, the bear fucking swung. Texas decided it was going to change congressional districts with no Democratic vote. Just all of a sudden decide to divide up districts based on race. Now you might be thinking, there's no way in the year of our Lord 2025, a large state like Texas decided to gerrymander based on race. But they did, and the courts found that Texas specifically split black communities up in half, split up POC communities in half, and merged them into Republican-like districts so that their vote wouldn't be as strong. And the court struck it down because it was not a partisan gerrymander. It was a racial-based gerrymander. In this country, it is technically legal. Not even technically, it is legal to partisanly gerrymander. So, in a lot of states like Virginia, they have independent councils that will draw up districts in a more fair, independent way. But, if you're not going to play by the rules, then why should they? And California started it. They took a vote to legally, partisanly gerrymander their state, effectively winning the Democrats about potentially, 5 Democrat seats in the midterms. And Virginia has now legally made it to where they can partisanly gerrymander the state. And this is now the new congressional map on the bottom that they will be following. Are people wildly upset by this? Of course. Anytime the Democrats fight back on anything, conservatives and Republicans get pissed. And like one random judge in Virginia decided to basically block this from happening. An injunction was filed, and the judge stated he would allow the election to proceed, but did not change the writ. So now the election is over, and he ended the injunction. So yeah, a judge essentially tried to stop this, and it didn't work.
Voters approved a new congressional map that could help Democrats pick up as many as 4 House seats in this year's midterms. But a judge in Virginia put a temporary hold on the state's redistricting efforts, so this blocks the new districts from taking effect so far. We will stay on top of that. But the new map you can see on the right-hand side of your screen would give Democrats an advantage in 10 of the state's 11 House districts. A dramatic shift, as you can see, from the previous 6-5 split on the left, and it would mark a major blow for Republicans in this nationwide redistricting battle. CBS News Executive Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joins us. So first of all, let's talk about this referendum. It was passed by a narrow margin. What will the impact be if, in fact, this judge's ruling gets overturned?
Yeah, well, let's look at what we learned last night. You see that narrow margin that you mentioned? Just to give you some context here for folks, if I compare that let's say, to Spanberger's relatively comfortable win just last fall in the governor's race, right? The Democrat there, you see, ran well ahead of the yes vote, which was backed by Democrats, as you noted. So much tighter there by comparison. One of the reasons is that this was really pulled over the top, the yes side, by heavily Democratic areas. And so when you see the map like this, let me do this and turn this state on its side. What I'm going to show you is these bluish areas where yes.
All right, we don't need to see election play-by-plays. But you get it. The people have spoken. They're fighting back against Republican redistricting efforts. And that's what you have to do. If you watch the president break every rule in the book and abide by no societal norms, the time of playing by the rules is over. The time of they go low, we go high is over. They go low, and we kick them in the face while they're down there. There is no more going high, because it will never win. It won't win unless there are safe strongholds of checks and balances. That is why it won't win. The systems that are in place to stop Trump from doing what he's doing aren't working. They're ineffective. So this is how you do it. You play by their rules. You play their game. And you beat them at it. They've always known this. The Republicans have always known that if the Democrats played the same game as them, they would lose. That's why people always call the Democratic Party controlled opposition, because they never do this. But, you know, when Democrats play dirty like Republicans do, Republicans get destroyed. Because people want that. They want the Democrats to play dirty. So, a couple of quick things. The federal government is doing tariff refunding for businesses instead of people. So that's pretty disappointing. But the other thing is that there are wildfires all over Georgia. So be safe, everyone. You know, don't get caught up in the wildfires. Holy crap. Be safe. It was super smoky today when I was at work. So it was super smoky yesterday too. There's a lot of large wildfires in southern Georgia. So be safe if you're in this area. All right, that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. You can support this podcast on patreon.com/forbiddenlandpod. And yeah, you can listen to this podcast audio only on Apple Podcasts, on your smart fridge. Perhaps it's a Samsung, or maybe even an Amazon fridge, if they make those. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.